Cool. All right, so let's move from there. As I mentioned, the OpenCUA module adds events to event streams, and event streams is a brand new module for Ignition 8.3. And this is I'm going to go over here to this area. It's a new area in our design that we can configure, but event streams are basically ways that we can move data around to different places in a very highly performant, highly scalable framework, a system. As we look to things like MQTT, especially people wanted Kafka with these, we didn't want these to be one-offs. We wanted a framework where when data changes, or from these, especially from pub subsystems, that we can handle that and then do something with that data. And so event streams was our new module, and this allows you to have a source of data. Like, for example, your source could be coming from MQTT, a tag in Ignition, Kafka. Could be listening for an event. And when that thing changes, we can take it in and we can do the different things with it. So for example, here I've got a stream already set up for Kafka. And this is a Kafka source. So I'm connecting to I have my Kafka connector, which since I'm on that, I'll go over to our connections, and under our service connectors here, let me go to the right server. Let's go to connections and service connectors. And you'll see that I've got a connection to a Kafka cluster. So on my local machine, I have one running, and so I'm connected to that already. And in here, on my source, that's the Kafka connector. I'm listening for a topic called Ignition messages, and when a topic comes in, or value comes in, that's going to be a JSON object. That's the encoding that I want, and we can filter that message if we want to. We can transform it, manipulate the message. We can buffer it there so we don't lose these records. Of course, we can then do something with that data. In this particular case, there's lots of different handlers. I can have one or more handlers. Here I'm actually using a database handler where I can write that information to a database table. But I can send it out through MQTT. I can send it out to a tag. I can call a script. I can do whatever I want. And the idea of this framework is that you have so many options. The more sources and handlers that we have, the more options for how you can move data around. And it just gives you so much more flexibility, especially with MQTT. With the Cirrus Link MQTT modules, pretty much that all worked around tags and publishing tag data out, or as you're bringing that information into a tag system. But now we can send to any MQTT topic or listen for any MQTT topic. So I'll show you an example of that here in a minute. All right, so I got this one Kafka set up. It's going to a database. It's inserting into a table called Kafka messages. So if I go to my database, here's that table. I don't have any records in there right now for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to run I have a Python program that I have to actually produce a Kafka message. It's going to send that to the Kafka cluster that I have, which is that on that same Ignition messages topic that this is listening for. So when I'm going to go ahead and run that, and so here you can see there's my message that it should send to Ignition messages, and ultimately that's going to get handled. And if I go into my database and we refresh that, there you can see there's that new message that just came in. So it easily allows us to see these messages, to bring that message in and do something with it. Now, if I wanted to write that to, do more with that data, like say I wanted to write that to a tag, we could do that as well. So let's go over here. Let's create a new tag. We'll call it a memory tag, and this will be our Kafka message there, and it's going to be a document style tag. So we're going to bring that in. I'm going to copy the path. Let's go over here and write that to a tag. The tag path is going to be this. The value is simply event.data. That is the full message there. The quality will be good. And the timestamp will be now. We'll do these are all expressions there. So let's go ahead and save this. And so now I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna write to a database and write to a tag at the same time. So let's go and put another message in there. Let's write one more. There we go. It's random. See, one came in, two handlers, and now you can see on my tag, I've got that data coming in. Super simple. There's so many things that we can do. I'm not gonna be able to show every example, but I'm gonna show one more. Let's do an event listener for alarms. So events, let's call it events. and it's going to be the event listener. We can actually have alarms send out through this, and there's nothing to configure here, but we're going to go over to the handler, and I'm going to write this to MQTT. We're going to go to the broker I've connected to, and I'll call this event stream alarm events. So we'll write that to MQTT. And so again, this is, and not just, it's not Sparkplug. We could do that, but this is a plain JSON message that are going to be sent to that server. So let's go ahead and save that. What we're going to do is open up MQTT Explorer here, and we're going to connect to my local broker. And so I don't have any, we'll see that message come in. Now, what we can do with this is we actually have to create a pipeline. Let me minimize this. I'm going to create a pipeline, and that pipeline, there's an event stream source where I can actually take the alarm message and I can pipe it directly to, and here, this is the stream we want to go to, the event stream. So then once I save that, let's go down to an alarm like this writable Boolean 1. And here's my alarm. When it goes active, I want to go into that pipeline so that we can send that data into that stream. So let's go over to the stream. We're just going to write to MQTT. So now let's go ahead and make this go to a 1 there, which you can see 1 came in. It wrote to MQTT. Let's go over here, and there's my event streams, alarm events, and that full alarm message that just went through. So this could be, I can go from Kafka to MQTT, MQTT to Kafka. I can go from MQTT to database, MQTT to tags. I can do whatever combination I want, giving me ultimate flexibility here with event streams. There are so many things that we can do. I'll just mention a couple more things real quick. In that, from sources, we have MQTT, tags we can listen on, Kafka topics, Sparkplug messages from MQTT, event listener, which I just showed, and then HTTP. HTTP actually adds an endpoint to Ignition for this stream that a third-party application can post to, and that message will come in and we can handle it. So there's quite a few, and this event streams, the sources and handlers are part of the SDK. You can actually build modules that extend the functionality, adding more to this. If we look at the handlers, I kind of showed there, but databases sending through gateway messages or gateway events in the gateway network, going out through HTTP, Kafka, we can do the logging system, MQTT, tags, as well as we can just do any script that we want to run right here. So lots of possibilities with event streams.